Yo, 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 yo. What's good, my people? It is your boy Jason Gooner. And you know, we're back inside the studio because it is the international window, people. Yes, we cheat on the EPL this weekend. I'm not gonna lie, people. Pops was in town, family things are going, we got dinner, and I just be a reason we're all. And people, you already know my style. Family come first every single time. So if a decision is to be made between family and YouTube, guess what, people? Family going to win. So we never forward this week with the EPL. No, it don't have nothing to do with Gunners drawing. All right, people. So no bother with that. It I just said the weekend there. So we not overdo the thing. We never do the preview show, so people never there for give them views and them predictions. And some people did link me and give me them upon some other place, but we're not even gonna worry about that week. Yeah. This week we couldn't really get to that. So you don't know. I say, listen, I have some time, Pops fly gone today. So me there, I'm want to break down this squad that was selected for this November window. So that's why we forward out tonight, people, with this type of content, and it's not EPL. All right. Nothing to do with the Gunners dropping 2 points at the Stadium of Light. Zine? But yo, big up to any Citizens fans, the five of you out there in the world. Well done. Good win today. 3-0 kick out Liverpool teeth. Man City look serious again. Them look solid for sure. So they are going to be very, very, very formidable this season, people. Believe me. Anyway, I could just big up the people who they are from Shirley out. I know I was just over by Elite Sports just now watching the show. So I know people are there I watch the show, but you know my thing always I gotta get the watch back. So if the people are now forward over here live, it's all gravy. We still got to break it down, chop it up for the ones and ones who want for there right now, and the ones and ones will see it later. Big up on yourself as well, on some real G. Just touch up the like button while you watch the show. All right. So I'm gonna break down everything. You don't know my style. It's a special edition of the Reasoning Time tonight. Reggae Boyz World Cup squad reaction. And we're going to talk about the press conference as well, because trust me, sometimes some of the decisions that you see, me personally, I like to hear what the person who made the decisions has to say regarding these decisions. So we're gonna see if we can get anything out of the press conference in terms of making sense of some of the things that we saw happen in the squad. Of course, while we're here, I'm going to give my thoughts on the squad, go through it, player by player, see, what I think we did right in the squad selection, what I think we didn't do so well in the squad selection. And yeah, it's going to be my point of view and perspective. And at the end of the day, I want to see Jamaica qualify for the World Cup. That's obviously the goal, right? And the good thing about football and why we love football so much is because people will all want a common goal, but they might all have a different way that they think they can achieve that goal. So I'm going to give what I think would be the right way to go about doing things as far as this selection of the team is concerned. Because I don't think everything was bad. I think there are some good things. So we're going to highlight all parts and say, yeah, what was good I thought and what was bad I thought. And listen, we can't change the squad. We know that. But it's very easy for me to say after the fact, after the two games are played, boy, we should do this, we should do that. I'm going to tell you what I think we should have done before. And even if it works out for us or get the results we want, we can then analyze and say, yo, what was Guna right about? What was he wrong about, right? That's the whole reason why you forward before the things happen, so that people can beat you or say, yo, you did right, he did right, he did see the future. So that's why we run out with these type of content if people want to know. Because some people always ask, like, why you do this? Because nothing that you're doing will change anything that is done. The selections are made. We cannot change them. I say, yeah, I agree. But at the end of the day, what is the point of having any sports media then if you're not going to talk about decisions that people make? Isn't that the whole point of doing this? Asking the questions, trying to hear different perspectives. You see me? That's the whole point, right? So that's why we do it. That's why we do it. That's why we're there. Big up to Skip in the building. Skip a tone. Bless up yourself. Set notification finally coming up. That is it. That is it. That is it. Some people were telling me even sometimes when I share the content and they click on the link, it's a dead link. So I don't know why YouTube depend. But everything on my end as far as the settings and everything. I check it multiple times and nothing wrong. So I don't know people. I can't explain it. I email the people them and them email me back, but them just say they work on it and they've been having some issues and they are working around the clock to fix it. So I guess I don't know what to tell you. Bless up Jason in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button as you're rolling. Subscribe if you're new and share the content. Big up yourself, Joseph Brown, in the building. One ground God. Yeah, man. Respect for the membership as well, people. That's a way you can support the channel. Another way, the right way, you just locate the join button. I believe you will find it in the channel description page. So if you just go to Jason Gooner TV on YouTube, the actual homepage, I believe, yeah, there should be a tab that says membership. If you don't see anything like that, just look for the description of the channel and you'll see a join button there. Sometimes the join button is just located right there on your screen and you just click on it. Yeah, so multiple ways you can find it, but it's just a way to support. It's $1.99 a month. So yeah, just a way to show your support. I figure we'll get shows where we get over 1,000 views and stuff. If I could get just 10% of those people, then basically it will make the channel flow. Any kind of improvements I want to make to the channel, it can just come straight out of the channel. So I'm not take no food out of the household plate. You see me? Yeah, man, that is the plan. I mean, I don't really expect this to grow to the point of, boy, this is what my living is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be great because I enjoy doing the content, but at the end of the day, this is just something that I enjoy doing and I have a passion for. So yeah, we're gonna do it regardless. So I would be talking to my brethren them about the squad in private if I wasn't on this camera right now. So what's the difference, Yo, Derek G, big up yourself, Yeah, man, respect, hope all is well with you. Who that? Who that? Namesake in a building. Bossa Blanc. Big up yourself, bro. Hope all is well. Hope everybody are yard good. Family over everything, which is right. That a code. You know that. Bless up, Conrad. Boy, your team don't know nothing about defense, but them know if score goal, brother. One Barca. Darren Martin. Up full, up full, up full. Big up yourself, my brother. Hope all is well, Gunners drop a few points, but hey, stay them like on a normal thing, brother. I think a lot of teams, some teams already find out and more going to find out. Bless up Rob Smith. Yeah, man. I know you have some thoughts about the squad. Fire away, my friend. Sorry, Jason, but just a draw. The only team you guys should worry about is Man City, though. Yeah. I said it about 2 match weeks ago on the show? I was like, yeah, I mean, obviously Liverpool wobbling, and I don't think they'll wobble forever. But if I'm being honest with myself in my brain, Pep Guardiola find a new formula over there with the players he have, and it looking good. Not telling a lie. People like and share, subscribe. Yeah, man. That is the code right there, Conrad. Like, share, subscribe. Those are the prerequisites. Bless up, Chile. What go on, my brother? Boy. Look like a war this season in Chile, because Pep find something with the ball of them again. Have you seen Katrina? Jesus, yeah, man. I see some picture. Feel underwater. Crazy. Crazy. A lot of places in the West, though. Rough. We really need, as a country, as a nation, this qualification. I mean, it not gonna give back people them house, but just at least give you a sense of pride, Jamaica going back to the World Cup, Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much solace that could have provided, but I just feel like it would have give you at least just a boost of energy, a different vibe in the country. Yeah, at least that's the hope still. That's the hope still, But yeah, people, as we now roll in, just like up the video, share the content as well. I have not done so, but that's okay. We're just gonna run the show tonight and make it go on. But first thing more, people. Before anything, not even gonna put the squad on the screen or anything. We're gonna actually first play the press conference, right? So I'm just gonna play the audio because they had some issues at JFF Live with the coverage of the press conference. They had one up where they're waiting, then they sent another link to something else, and they will click that, and that never did work. So big up to Ball Pre had it live, so people were able to at least see it and hear it. But yeah, wasn't the best on the JFF Live side. They had some issues there, which can happen from time to time. But yeah, it wasn't a good look. But in the end, as I said, Ball Pre TV, big up yourself again. Got the coverage to us, so we're able to hear and see what. Um, so yeah, that was it. That was it. Chemo in the building say exactly it will. Yeah, man, it must galvanize the people, man. Pray that we'll get it. Yeah. I was watching it today, the game, Barca. You have to have a strong heart, that highline, Jaja. They're going to live by it, I guess. Yo, a one way the man play, brother. One way. East and Stuart Bagabrace this weekend. Maybe this opens a new avenue for more players. What do you mean open a new avenue? Like players can start to look to that league to go? Or what do you mean? Because it never opened no avenue for neither one of them, no matter how much goal them score. So I don't know which avenue you talk about. I don't know. But but clear up what you mean, because I'm assuming you mean like more players can go to that league. It never really opened up no avenue for them for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz team though. That's the sad part. All right, so as I said, I'm gonna play the audio from this press conference. I will be pausing, reacting to it. I've heard bits and pieces here and there, and but I haven't really listened to it straight through ever. So this is the first time I'm really gonna hear it straight through. So yeah, I'm gonna react to it as we listen to it. Let me know if you can hear it. Just thumbs up in the chat. So just a recap of the squad before we get into question from the media. Goalkeepers, Andre Blake, Jamal Safari Chambers. The defenders, next to Makisa, Joel Latifa, Ethan Pinn, Damien Lowe, Mason Holgate, Richard King, Rico Henry, Ray Lee, Ian Frey. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Bobby Rick. Hold on there. Why the man talk so fast? Yo. Huge. Thank you very much, Coach McLaren. Just a recap of the squad before we get into question from the media. Goalkeepers, Andre Blake, Jamali Woods, Safari Chambers. The defenders, next to Makisa, Joel Latifa, Ethan Pinn, Damien Lowe, Mason Holgate, Richard King, Rico Henry, Ray Lee, Ian Frey. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Bobby Reid, Roy Anderson, Joshawn Hamlin, John Russell. The forwards, Shamar Nicholson, Romain Burrell, Bailey Tyke, Calamatry, Demarai Green, Ronaldo Cephas, Kaheem Dixon, Tyrese Campbell, Warner Brown, and Dujon Richards. So now we're going to open the floor for questions from the media. We kindly ask you to step forward to the microphone to pose your question to. All right, so we hear the squad. Obviously, the first thing jumps out when you hear that squad being announced, for me at least, is Rico Henry included in it. A player that we heard from the JFF president had everything sorted and ready to go prior to the first window. Didn't see him then. Didn't see him in October. And now we see him in November's window. So that was the first one that I saw and was like, okay, that's something different that I wouldn't say I wasn't expecting, because we had heard it floating around his name a lot. But you never know. You never know what it's actually gonna be at the end of it. So yeah, this is the squad. I'm gonna put it up on the screen in just a second here. Yeah, so this is the squad in full. Just initial reactions, people, surprises of what you saw or what you heard of the squad. I'll just read them out. Andre Blake, Jamali Wade, Tafari Chambers, Lati Bodair, Pinnock, King, Lembe Kisa, Greg Lee, Damian Lowe, Rico Henry, Holgate, and Ian Frey. Isaac Hayden, Bobby Reed, Jonathan Russell, Karai Anderson, Jashan Anglin, Bailey Kalamatri, Shamar Nicholson, Roman Burrell, Damari Gray, Kaheem Dixon, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, Warner Brown, and Dejan Richards. So that is the Reggae Boyz squad. It's a 26-man squad. And yeah, I think the breakdown is 3 goalkeepers, 9 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 9 forwards. So yeah, my initial reactions, first impression when I heard the squad, Rico Henry in it, surprisingly thankful about that. We know Bell was carrying an injury. I figured, I thought that it would have been Ronaldo Webster that came in, just because we had heard Rico Henry was ready from in September. We have seen 2 windows pass, we don't see him. So my brain is just saying, all right, at this point, he must not be coming, for whatever the reason could be. But this time he is there. So that was good. And then my next thing was, okay, we're back to the 5 midfielders only, and we have 9 forwards. Now, when I do the breakdown of the forward line, I try to think, okay, when I raise these objections about things, what is the most likely response I will get? So when I was talking about the 9 forwards, I said, okay, let me break them down into position. So we have 4 strikers and 5 wingers based on the 9 forwards. Now, I have seen Jamaica play many, many times, and typically we'll have 2 wingers on the pitch under this coach. I'll say we'll have 2 wingers on the pitch and we'll have a striker. The midfield typically is made up of 2 8s, a 6, a 8, or a 10. A 6, 8/10 sometimes is how it looks, and very rarely we'll play 2 6s and a 10. Almost never do that actually. So it's typically a sole 6 with some either box-to-box midfielders or one that sits a little bit closer to the 6 and one that's a little more, has a more freedom, or both of them just kind of stay on the same level and they decide when to push and when to drop and all these things. But based on that, in any given game, I wouldn't expect more than 4 wingers to play, and I wouldn't expect more than 2 strikers to play. Obviously, you're chasing a game late and everything. You might want to put an extra forward or this and that, but that's why you would have 3 strikers and not 2, because typically you're not going to have more than 2 of them on the pitch at once. So I'm saying all these things, and I'm saying, well, what they'll probably say is, well, Jason, the way we see it, when you look at the squad, Damari Gray can also play number 10, right? We have thought about the idea of playing Kaheem Dixon there as well. So really and truly, it could be that it's 6 midfielders. And then they'll also say, remember, Ian Frey played midfield for us in the last window. And Joel Latibo there is a utility player, so we could name him either the midfield or the defense. They'll come with all kind of things to make sense of the 5 midfielders. Now, the deeper level that I would go to with that is when you look at the midfielders and you really analyze them, one of them is a specialist in a role that pretty much has his own stamp on that role. So Isaac Hayden, available to play, is going to play number 6 for Jamaica in the system that McLaren plays. The other 2 players in this 5 midfielders that he has, in my eyes, fully trusted so far since he's been the coach is Bobby Reed and Jonathan Russell. So that leaves Karai Anderson and Jashan Anglin. Now, I'll take my mind back to when Hayden was suspended for the Curacao game. And we were trying to figure out who are they going to turn to play the role. Ian Frey came into the squad, and we all said, yes, he can play CDM, so he's an option. He ended up starting in that role. Didn't have the best game, right? It was obvious. He was struggling in the midfield, a bit off the pace at times. Just don't think it was the best introduction for him. Turf, central defensive midfield, when he's been playing right back for Inter Miami for a good season and a half now, since he's been back from injury. So yeah, I just don't think it was the right situation for him to go there. Either way, he was there and it didn't work out. Would they put Damian Lowe back there? They decided not to do that. We had Latibo there in the squad last time, but he was just coming back. And I honestly don't think that he was even ready to really play. We didn't see him play in the last window, which is for the first time I can remember Latibody ever traveling over for a window and not getting any game time. Was the last window that we just played. So clearly there's something there that the coach is not really fully ready to throw him out there in the Lions den. So looking at all those factors, there's really only three midfielders that the man actually really use. And you could say Damari Gray is a decent argument because the last time Damari Gray and Cephas were in the team together, they both started, and Damari Gray was the one that moved to number 10 or central midfield, central attacking midfield. So I still don't think it's enough though. When you factor in that we have players out there, Daniel Johnson is the first one that comes to mind for me. I don't understand how this guy has just been sent away. I know he's not everyone's favorite player, but at the end of the day, you can't dispute or discount what he's been doing in his club career, right? And I think we have called players, even him, he'll probably tell you, we have called him at times when his form wasn't the best and he was getting called. And now he's had this steady run of good form. You know, one of the keys of his team in that midfield area, playing anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 in that system. Sometimes he plays as a double pivot in a 2-6 system. Sometimes he's playing like kind of a box-to-box 8-ish type of role, and sometimes he plays 10. So basically what we're missing in that midfield, he provides with the experience, with the knowledge of CONCACAF football, having represented us many times. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And I think there must be factors other than football at play with Daniel Johnson, and the fact that there has been no real, I don't even think he comes up in conversation anymore, really, when it comes on to asking questions about players. It's just like, forget about that guy, whatever. So I don't know. I must be missing something. I don't claim to know everything, but clearly there's something going on that is above my pay grade, right? Because it don't make no sense to be that this man not even mentioned at all. Ravel Morrison is another one. Everyone mentions Ravel Morrison. And look, I rate Ravel Morrison just like anybody else. But if people have anything against Ravel coming back into the team now, at least there's an argument that I could at least listen to and hear. Not saying I would agree with it, but it's a valid argument to say, okay, let's really look at the level that he's playing in at the current moment. We know what he can do as a player. We can't dispute that. But where is he really playing? How good is that level? Have you ever watched a game of that league? Even highlights of that league? So, look, that's an argument that at least I think people have a valid argument there. But with Daniel Johnson on mission and just nobody caring, looking what's going on and trying to figure out why, to me, that is the bigger travesty, honestly. Big travesty. Maybe you could say the age of the player at this current moment, but I don't even think that's something that you can even say, because no matter how old he is, what you have to just look at is his track record the last few seasons. Like, he's been consistently playing and starting now in the Turkish Super League, last year in the second division. He's 33 years of age. Will be 34 next October. So he'll be 33 if we are to make the World Cup and we take him to the World Cup. He'll be 33 during the World Cup now, and he wouldn't be the first 33-year-old player to play in a World Cup. Not at all. So it's not so far-fetched. But anyway, that one is one that kind of I have to scratch my head about. And then Tyrese Hall as well. I had heard rumors not rumors, but it was reported that some of the coaching staff from Jamaica were at a recent game with Notts County to check up on the player and stuff and see him play live. And I want to say he scored on that day, and has been consistently playing well and scoring and assisting. It is League Two, so that might be something that you could hold against him, as far as, is he really the answer right now at this crucial juncture? League Two player, obviously owned by a Premier League club, so we can't leave out that part. He's Tottenham owned, right? And he's been sent out on loan for experience, but has really done well and is looking to be someone that could dominate that level. So the hope for him is, and maybe these windows came a little too soon for him in his trajectory, maybe. But let's see what happens. Typically League Two Premier League club will recall the player in or end that loan spell in December, and then in January I would think the hope would be, let's find him a championship club that he could get minutes, or let's find him a League One club that is potentially going into a promotion race or something like that, and put him over there somewhere. So, it's going to be contingent on us making the World Cup, obviously, but I think Tyrese Hall is one that obviously is in the mindset of the coaches. So it's going to be good to see his trajectory as he moves forward. I do think that for him to really have a shout in this World Cup roster, though, he'll need to have a move to a club, at least a tier up in the hierarchy, or the pyramid, I should say, in football in England. That's just my thoughts on that. But initial thoughts, I know it was a bit long-winded. Rico Henry in the squad, great. The makeup composition of the positions, not so thrilled with. I think there's only three midfielders there that the coach really and truly trusts. Karai Anderson had the chance to play in the Isaac Hayden role, or at least in that midfield, as someone who's been around the team and always selected and always getting, I wouldn't say always, but getting a lot of spot duty here and there in that midfield area. Coach didn't trust him to start over there. And Jashan Anglin, Mount Pleasant obviously hasn't had a chance to play in the JPL due to the hurricane. And also, they're still in the Caribbean Cup though. But that, since the group stage, their games have really tailed off. And the last time we saw Anglin playing was in the second leg semi-final the other day, and he had to come off the pitch. Obviously, everybody's saying everything is fine with him, but I worry about his match fitness, and obviously that could be an issue for him. But anyway, let me continue to play the press conference. That was just my initial thoughts. Before I turn it back on, though, let me just look and see if anybody had any initial thoughts about it, as I did. Big up Conrad. While some of the players coming into form, a few not getting any game time. It's very interesting. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder what the criteria really is. What club does Lati play for? Lati plays for Coventry. And this season, after you have to put plays in quotation because he hasn't really played yet. It surprised me when he said he see Anglin as a 8, meaning we don't have a backup 6. Yeah. Rob Smith, I asked him in a press conference, I think it was before wasn't the Gold Cup. It may have been before the World Cup qualifiers, prior to the Gold Cup, when Isaac Hayden played. No, the Gold Cup. Yeah. It was the World Cup qualifiers after the Unity Cup. And I think I asked him, what is your contingency plan should Isaac Hayden, have something happen? I said, at this stage in his career, very rarely does he play both games of a match week if they have a midweek and a weekend game. And I know the turnaround is not quite as tight in an international window, but I think it's just one extra day from what it would be in the club. With that being said, do you trust that Isaac can play 2 games over 90 minutes back to back within 4 or 5 days? And what is your contingency plan if you do have to find some minutes to give him a rest and everything? So he said, listen, first and foremost, we just have to try to keep him fit, and he didn't really have an answer, so to speak. He just said his main thing was just monitoring him so that he's fit. So yeah, he didn't really have a contingency plan, which was kind of frightening still. Yo, big up yourself, Brahma. Conrad, I did laugh. I thought that level is better than Did he get injured after the last camp? Because I haven't seen him play in a while. Yeah, no, he ain't played this year, I don't think. Even before the camp and everything. Yeah, he sits on the bench. Big up Gooner, hope all as well. Big up, Swamp activity. Yeah, bro, me there. Hope the Swamp is still functioning, Ravel playing a lot of the big leagues. Yeah, he's played a lot of places. This man, world traveler, you know. His backup six are Frey and Lati. Yeah, so his two backup sixes are makeshift players for the role still. If we're being honest, Junior Lopez, you know. Antonio training, I guess. Squad looks good enough to win both games. Versatile set of forwards. All right, so the Mall said his initial thought is the squad looks good enough to win both games. Versatile set of forwards. Stet, bless up yourself, you know. Yeah, man. I hate to see what happened to your school star. A lot of damage over at Stets. Hopefully them can, you know, sort it out. All right, back in this now. Questions.
My work is on real sport. How much does a player's type or quality as it relates to the team? You know the type of play that you want from the team. So how much does the type of play determine whether they get included in the squad?
I think what I've done this squad is, I think, obviously been nearly 18 months. And 18 months ago, on the first day, the goal was qualification for the World Cup. And in that time, we've used a lot of players, but we've also had a core of players who's been regular and been in every camp and every game with us. And some have come in late, but have been part of us since the summer in World Cup qualifying games. And what I've tried to do is I picked 26 players and included in that our players who have played from day one. A few who have obviously come into the squad and performed well and stayed in the squad. But these players have shown their loyalty to Jamaica, to come into the camps, and their willingness to want to achieve the goal, which is World Cup qualification. So that's why I picked 26. That's why I picked the players that I played. They've been in from day one. I trust them. They trust me. We all know what we want from each other. It's very difficult to introduce new players now and new things and try different things. I don't think now is the time to do that. I think we have to make principles what we've been trying to do. And these games are all about attitude, fight, and the will to win. We have to have more will than anybody to win, and also with God's will, that will happen.
All right, so you say a lot there. He said that it will be very difficult at this juncture to bring in a lot of new players. Well, he didn't even say a lot. He just said bring in new players. So, you know, there was really only one new addition to this squad that we hadn't seen before, and that would have been Rico Henry. So yeah, I guess, you know, I'm sure that might come up in a press conference. I think that's one of the tidbits that I heard was like, you know, him mentioning why Rico is maybe the exception to that rule that he just said. Yeah, I think I did hear that part. So yeah, we're gonna keep playing it though. But basically, saying, you know, wouldn't be smart at this juncture to bring in a lot of new players. So he stayed with the ones that, you know, maybe been with him for most of this 18-month period. Of course, we have seen, like, you know, Whisper come back into the fold, who we had never had a chance to work with before. But other than that, pretty much all the players would have at least come around either by the summer of this year, or like in Bailey Cadamartri's case, you know, right at the start of this final World Cup qualifying round. So and Frey in the October. So 1, 2, 3 really additions that would have gotten just from the summer, maybe 4. So Roman Burrell, um, Cadamartri, Ian Frey, Rico Henry. Those would probably be the 4 that you'd say just came around now. And yeah, that's the case right there. So yeah, we don't have no real creativity in the side using Gray as 10. Never worked before. We should have had a backup creative player, said Joseph Brown. Yeah, look, I think basically all this means, people, is some of these some of these, play through the thirds type of football. I don't think that's really gonna be our intention, because based on how the squad is picked, he plans to um play more on the direct ball type of style. Second ball winning, and then play from there. Don't bother play to midfield and then to the forwards. Straight from the back to the front. Um, squeeze the field once you clear the ball up the field. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the plan, people, because we don't really have the personnel to play in the pockets like that. At least I don't see it based on the squad that he picked. Bless up, God. Hope everything is good with you, my brother. EPL player here must start. Yeah. Jason, so real question. After Palmer, who is our real creative player? Excluding Gray, who isn't at 10. We need lots of depth at 8, 6, 10. So regardless of what he says, we need players. Yeah, we definitely do. And like I said, I think this is just showing you that the style of play ain't gonna be playing to no creative midfield. That's all. Because we have workers in this midfield. Who is not a worker is a box crusher. And yeah, Joshua Anglin is probably the one you'd say is the worker. Isaac Hayden wants to work, but how much can he give us over 2 games? That's the thing. He's gonna have to really, really play smart and hopefully not overexert himself too much, because we're gonna need him in both of the games for sure. Big up Eagle, hope all is well. Yeah, man. Big respect for the check-in, my brother. It's going to be a long ball over the top. Yeah, guys. Based on this squad, I don't see how we would be playing to the midfield. It's not going to really happen. We're going to find the wingers and say, hey, do the thing. Get by a man, cut inside and shoot, just create from the wings. Yeah, I think we'll play more to the wings. Yeah, and it won't, and I don't think it's changed. When you look at like the touches, for example, of like Casey Palmer and the two wingers, the two wingers are touching the ball just as much as Palmer. So it's not like we're really playing to that central player so much. We have creative wing players. I don't think we have creative wing players. I think we have explosive wing players. I wouldn't call them creative though. They're explosive. They can win 1v1 duels and provide some kind of action that could lead to something. But I wouldn't. I think I wouldn't say I would put the title creative though. I think that I wouldn't use that adjective personally. Bless up Nitro Wagwan. I guess it's going to take us the next 30 years to qualify again. Well, hopefully it don't take no 30 anything. It take how much? 1, 2, 3, 9 days? So ball pre now.
Coach, my name is Simon, King from WCQ TV. Coach, we've seen where players that are selected in the squad came on social media to show their support to Jamaica in the devastation of Hurricane Minister, right, Coach? We know that it's already a task to qualify for the World Cup in itself. And I know that most of the players will be using this opportunity as motivation to assist us to go over the line. But has it been any additional difficulty, or has it been any additional pressure on coaches, staff, and players, knowing that getting over the line will boost a whole moral of the whole nation? Is it any additional pressure, or is it just being seen as motivation?
It's seen as motivation has been there from day one. Jamaica, why do they travel thousands and thousands of miles to come over? We said this 18 months ago. Everybody's goal was World Cup qualification, and we're on the brink. We've come this far. We've had 18 months working towards this moment. We've had ups and downs. We've had success. We've had failures, disappointments, high lows. It all boils down to this. They know the importance. They know more than us. We don't need to pile any more pressure on them. We do that every camp they come. But I think we've got the added pressure of the people of Jamaica who are suffering at the present moment, and the devastation and travesty that they must be going through. We can't see that, we can't feel that. We need to be able to feel that, what the people are feeling as well. And if we can come together as one and get the feeling of the island, get the feeling of the people, because they're the most important. They're the most important people on this island, the families and the friends and the Jamaicans all over the world. They will be so proud if we achieve this. So that's the mindset we've had from day one. So it isn't a case of coming to the last camp and ramping up the motivation or ramping up the pressure. The pressure is there. You have to handle that, and the crowd will help us. I can't stress the importance of the game is 8 o'clock. We want to see the crowd there at 6 o'clock. We want to see them when we pull up on the coach. We want to see them when we walk onto the field to look at the field. We need to see them when we're doing the warm up. We need them to be behind the noise, the music, the smiles, the motivation. We want to see that. We want to see the whites of the eye of the people, to see how much it means to them, to know it means that much also to the players who must perform, to give to the people something which would be so special.
Yeah, so look, probably one of the best answers I ever heard the man give, honestly. He said there's no added pressure, even with everything that's going on. This is the same pressure that we had from day one, because we know what it means to the people. And I love his cry for the fans, to whoever can make it, to come out early. I've been stressing this, like, listen, if everybody could be like my father that goes to a match, the stadium full. I've never known my father not to be at a game 2 hours before the game, 1.5 hours at least. All through that 98 World Cup campaign as a youth, I remember, honestly, I swear, I can honestly think back to my life in Jamaica growing up, right? And probably some of my favorite days ever spent was World Cup qualifiers at the stadium. The whole vibe from morning, get there early, the music, the people, the yelling at the referee. I mean, everything about it. Like, my childhood is always connected to that stadium because of that campaign, right? And I just remember how the stadium used to be full when Jamaica, well, not full, let me not exaggerate the thing. The stadium was at least half full when Jamaica was warming up. And definitely by the time Anthem was sing, the stadium packed. So we need to get that. If it's even fair day, people, just the 18th of November, can we please have that happen? Like, please. I can't agree with the coach more that, they want to see the whites of the eyes of the fans, and sometimes the reds of the eyes of the fans, and whatever. But it's true, like, we need that 12th man on that day. Like, so bad. So bad. So bad. So bad. So, yeah, I love that answer, McLaren. I have to be fair. I thought you gave a good answer to that question. And it sounded like you have it sounded like you could maybe motivate people. Like, that was, like, I like what you were saying there. So yeah, keep that up when you're doing your team talk over this window too, because that wasn't bad at all. That wasn't bad at all. I hope the players are flying straight to Trinidad. We do not need any additional stress on the players. I don't think that's the case, Eagle Republic. I'm pretty sure they're going to link up here first. So, yeah. I don't think you're going to get your wish there. Ravel as fan, Ravel as fan, I try. You could say you could have played in a better league, though. Yeah, man, I remember those days. If Jamaica wins in Trinidad, the stadium are gonna ram. Boy, Dwight, I honestly hope that it doesn't matter. But you're probably right. That will go a long way to the stadium being ram. I haven't seen the stadium ram since 2012. Yeah. The last time I saw it full was that Uruguay we played? Or is that like World Cup qualifying that they're talking about there, Rob? 2012 World Cup qualifiers. No, wait, that'd be 2014 World Cup qualifiers. There was a question up here. Okay, Eagle Republic said, can you help me here? How can the JFF have Leon Bailey and Casey Palmer on a standby list when the players are not on 100%? As a coach, you have 3 windows to make 5 changes. Why waste them? Well, I think, well, okay, so these are a couple of different questions, right? So, how can a JFF have Leon Bailey and Casey Palmer on a standby list when the players are not 100%? Okay, so I want to say you're referencing a question that's going to come up soon. So I won't tackle that answer until I hear the coach talk on it. As a coach, you have 3 windows to make 5 changes. Why waste them? All right, so Eagle Republic, I won't forget this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pin it so that I don't forget it. Have it starred. So I'm going to come back to that. That's not going to happen again. 198. Winning solves everything. Yeah, I know. Especially with the hard fans. I used the stadium 4 hours before a match them day there. The atmosphere was hype. Yo, Joseph Brown, I swear, like a beer forward. It's like a dance there because the amount of fans there early when the selector playing music and thing, nobody know up on the field, no sound thing, no have to worry about, no so play them music. Them a pull up tune same way, brother. And the hand them a blow and this and that are going on and bro, vibes. Can we help? How can we help to get the stadium full? I guess it would be we can try to do a monetary push and just buy up a whole of a ticket and just give them away on the channel. That could be a way. I think what helps too is just like putting this content out there, and just saying the dates and telling people, listen, how crucial it is. That can help. But yeah, I think Junior Lopez, I think a good way to help, honestly, just buy tickets. Just buy tickets because one thing that's not hard to give away is free stuff. So if you buy the tickets, Junior Lopez, and you could even just be driving around. I don't know where you're located, but if you're not in Jamaica, just you can go to JFF, I think it's jff.quapit.com, I believe. I believe it's this. Go to that right there, Junior Lopez. I just put it in the comment section and look at that and buy up some ticket, and you can literally like send the tickets to people, whether I think it's by phone or email or something. And yeah, if you know any people in Jamaica, just buy them some ticket and say, yo, go to the game. And if you don't know anybody to give the tickets to, literally, I will give them away on the channel. Literally, I'll just give them to people. Whoever comment, I'll ask a question. Whoever type it in the comment section first, then get a ticket. Yes, I can do that. I mean, obviously, do what you can, Junior Lopez. Don't overextend yourself. But if you can do anything, just buy some ticket and make sure 3, 4, 5 man get to go, or a woman, whatever, a family, or whatever the case is. God, big up yourself and respect so much for the super chat. God said, Jason, do you think we should rest Isaac Hayden for the Trinidad game because he's sitting on a yellow card? God, I'm so glad for the super chat, and I'm also doubly glad that you brought this up because I hear a lot of people saying Isaac Hayden and yellow cards. So let me explain to everyone how the rules of this CONCACAF World Cup qualifying goes. Now, each team, well, basically it's a 2 yellow card suspension system, and the yellow cards carry over from round to round. So let's say Isaac Hayden had picked up a yellow card in the initial first round when we played Dominica and Dam Rep and Guatemala, and who was the third team who would have played? Dominica, Dam Rep, Guatemala, and why am I forgetting the other team? It will come back to me, people. Hold on there. It will come back to me. Yo, who did we play? It was Guatemala. BVI. Couldn't remember the other team. Yeah, so BVI, all of them game there. If you had gotten a yellow card in one of those first 4 games in that round, it would have carried over to this round, and the next yellow card you get, you would have been out. But the good thing about this whole yellow card structure that they have in this competition is once you serve a suspension for a yellow card, right, your yellow cards get erased and you're back down to 0. So even if Isaac Hayden were to pick up a yellow card in the first game in Trinidad, that doesn't mean anything for his status to play against Curacao in the national stadium. So God, trust me, take it to the bank. Like this 1999 where you send, I'm thankful for. No worries. The only way Isaac Hayden miss the second game is if him get injured in the first or him get a red card in the first. One yellow card does not stop Isaac Hayden from playing against Curacao. All right. The players are flying in Kingston first. They are taking a charter flight from Port of Spain. Yeah, actually, a couple of the ballers were on a flight with my dad today, going back to Jamaica. So I know of at least 3 players that are on the island currently because they were on the flight with my dad, and I have spoken to him. I know he has landed, and so have they. He even sent a picture with a few of the lads as well. 2012 versus USA last time I saw a packed crowd. Okay. Was that the Luton Shelton Brace day? Because if so, I was at that game. And I'm trying to remember. Yeah, the stadium was pretty damn packed that day. That's the same day. I don't know if that's the same day, but let's see. Yeah, man. September the 7th. 2-1 victory. I'm pretty sure this is the game. I'm pretty sure this is the game. Yeah, people, sorry about that. Yeah, I think I was at that game, if that's the game when Shelton scored a free kick for winning game. Bless up, Float. Hope all is well, bro. Hope all is well. Trinidad, he have to play. Yeah, man, he has to play. And there's no issue with the card stuff. Unless me get a red card, as we say. Bailey 2 to 3 weeks, but he's on standby. Yeah, that's a weird one. As far as they're standing to even be able to play, I don't know how that would work because, and yeah, as I say, I will go back to that Eagle Republic question in a minute once I hear the question because I know that came up. That's one of the sound bites I heard. The players might be injured or unfit for the match on November 14, but recover in time to feature on November 18. Yeah, that's what he said. Buy tickets for schoolboy footballers at no cost. Sponsor school or club. Yeah, there you go, Lopez. You're getting ideas right there. School kids, boys and girls, says Conrad. Blessings, Jason Gooner and chat. I always do that. Yeah. Whenever I help out for game days, it's usually like a community that I might be familiar with or like a team. Yeah, something like that. Club. I keep saying that the JFF needs to link up with the Birmingham City medical staff and borrow the magic spray that they use on the Gray in the prior windows. Yo, Eagle Republic, you see you? You see you, Eagle Republic? Think you easy? Dominica and BVI. Yeah, BVI is the damn team I couldn't remember stats. I didn't know it's the next team, He never knew, he never wanted to play on that field. Trinidad is an important game on the road. We need the strongest squad guaranteed to play, at least a playing. Yeah. I agree. I hear a lot of people saying, yo, regardless what happens against Trinidad, I have to do a win against Curacao. Yes, we get that, but it's the Trinidad game is the most important game right now. So let's focus on that game. Yeah. That is it. That is the code there. God, that is it. I thought Isaac already served his yellow card suspension already. Yeah, he did. And it squits out. Once you serve a suspension, it cancels back out and zero again. Who is the backup for Hayden? I don't know. Close your eye and pick Luton and Austin scored. Okay, so it wasn't him score both. Austin did score a free kick too. Or it was just a shot. So that's the game when it was a free kick that Shelton scored, right? Like a curler over the wall, and I think Tim Howard was keeping. I'm almost certain it was Tim Howard him scoring. Yeah, Lopez. What's the best thing? All right, do this, Lopez. Yeah, on Instagram. If you have an IG, Lopez, just search same Jason Gooner TV, and just say see if you can send me a DM. Yeah, Jason Gooner TV on IG. Just send me a DM, bro, and after the air we'll link. I will sort out something. I thought Isaac in a racer. Okay, I saw that. 2 free kicks though. Yeah, man. No, hey. A little cloudy rap, but you know, I remember at least the 2. Yeah, 2 free kick. I'm willing. Okay, yeah, I answered that. No see no draw unless I'm a dress a draw. Yo. One more person need for forward on the stream. Or one need for drop off. Cause that the number then not go work, you know. Alright, let me go back to the press conference. Ricardo Chambers. Solid questions, Ricardo.
Sports Chambers. Just a couple of questions relating to
And a billion things, Sports Chambers. Listen, people.
Doesn't have history of sport yet. Can you explain the process and exactly what you will be attempting to do to ensure that he gets it in time for that next year against Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah, the process is ongoing. We have to have a change of association because he made 2 appearances at junior level for England. So that is in process. He must acquire a passport first. He's done everything in London that they needed to do. All the documents are in place. He just needs to visit PICA, apply, sign, and then pick up his passport the next day. So we're hoping to do that. Unfortunately, he plays on Sunday, so he can't come till Monday, so that will have to be Tuesday, Wednesday. Hopefully that will be done, and we get clearance on Wednesday or Thursday for him to be involved in that first game. If not that one, then hopefully by Friday, and then we've got the Monday for the second game.
Yeah, it sounds to me that based on the timelines that you've just outlined, there requires some level of collaboration between the JFF and the people. How is that going at this stage?
Yeah, that's always been the case whenever we've tried to acquire passports for players, and that has been difficult. That's a difficult process. We do look at other countries who seem to be straight away, including players, and getting players in, and all of a sudden, we see Trinidad and we see Curacao with new players that have come from nowhere. We don't know that process, but this is the process in Jamaica. We must adhere to that, and we do. So we try to plan early, and we have done with Rico since summer. This has been the only opportunity because a visit to the island to collect, to put in and collect a passport has always been the difficulty in terms of the schedule that the players have.
Is this the most difficult?
All right, I have to stop it there because him just said something at the end of that last part that really and truly it made me wonder Because he said they've been working on this since the summer, right? They've been working on this since the summer, and and he wants to know how the process is for the Curacao and Trinidad people, because it seemed like them just pop up with players that nobody never know about, nobody wasn't talking about them. They just window forward and players in the team when them nobody never know they were getting, right? So I remember Rico Henry being around the team, around that, well, not around the team. He was at the Brentford Stadium. I want to say definitely for the Nigeria game, the final. I'm not sure if it was at the Trinidad game as well. So I'm assuming that when he says we've been working on that since the summer, that would have been around the time when an actual face-to-face link would have taken place, right? He's done everything he needed to do in London, but the difficulty is due to their schedule with the club, they cannot really just take a trip to Jamaica to finish up this paperwork. The way it was explained to me is that regardless of whether you intend to use the player in a window, so let's say it's international break, September window, for example, if a formal invitation comes from the federation to the player should be able to be granted some time in that international window away from the club. Now, that's what was told to me. The only thing that doesn't make sense with that is most of the time a player is released to play for their nation. How does the rules go when the player is not going to play, the club knows he's not going to play, and he's just going there for to do some administrative work as far, with plans to play for Jamaica in the future? That's what I need to get clarity on. But I was told that with a formal invitation to the players that you want to finish up any documentation, as long as the invitation coincides with the international break, the clubs would be willing to let the players come. And obviously, you work with the club. So you say, listen, we don't want them for the entire window. This is an invitation for them to be around the team in this period before they travel away. And also we'll give them time to go to the designated authorities they need to go to get their paperwork finalized. Boom, bang, 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 bang. You draft it up, you write it, you make all the prime minister sign it to write it. And then you send it off. And a club see them formal letter there with prime minister signature and this and that. They're not going to look upon them player that them know want to have an international career and tell them can't go. I don't think they would. You know what I'm saying? So this that we're doing, trying to get this stuff done in 2-3 days, he plays Sunday, and can't travel till Monday, which means Tuesday, Wednesday, we're talking about peak of office, and then we're hoping Wednesday, Thursday, we get the switch and this and the passport in hand, and him can play. Well, that seems like too tight a turnaround to me. Look, I'm just saying, we saw a player in a similar situation to my knowledge, Kyle Duncan. I'm not sure if a switch had to be involved. I think he did. Yes, he did represent the US at youth level. So a switch was involved in that one. And I believe it came to the day of the first game, and they decided not to dress him out for that game. Right? So I don't think Rico Henry will be going to Trinidad even. I think he'll have to stay on the island. They'll want to finalize everything. Now look, if a miracle happens, people, great. I would love Rico Henry to be an option when we go to Trinidad. If he's in the team, I hope he's there to play. But just being realistic, just basing it off of what we saw in a window previous to this with a player that had a similar situation, the timing, another thing that is to be noted here, Rico Henry will be coming as late as possible due to his game on Sunday. And also, this window is a little bit different than all the rest. We've played our first game of the window on that Friday every time. This particular window, the first game is actually on the Thursday. So we have one less day. So let's see, man. It's possible. It's doable. At least the JFF under this hierarchy and most like in recent times has done this process. So it should be a, we know exactly what we need to do type of thing. So look, if the coach has some hope, then there is some hope. So we'll see how it turn out. But I'd say right now it's 50-50. If I had to put a percentage on it, 50-50 that Rico Henry is available Thursday, the 13th. Damn, 4 days away now. Jeez. All the gatekeepers, you know yourself, like and share. The passport process is easy once you are on the ground. That is true. A lot easier. But think him I'll probably get it when him come down, Jason. Yeah. Yeah. Should be able to get the passport in hand once him go peak at the next day. So the hope is him can go there Tuesday, get it Wednesday, and everything with the switch comes through in time for him to be on the match day squad on Thursday. One Jamaica man, other teams getting players fast. Don't expect him in Trinidad, say Rob Smith. Yeah, I have it at 50-50. Holgate went through the exact process. Yeah, I'm trying to remember when Holgate came. Was it one game that he played? Or did he play both games in the window when he came? I mean, he went through the process of getting invited and coming. No, you just talk about passport. Okay. We don't have any man outside can give a thing and get it for. Where you say? In a year a day, you could have just let off a thing and you get everything you need. The passport process isn't the same for everyone, though, especially if you weren't born here. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Canada is doing a similar thing where Marcelo Flores turned down Canada and played for Mexico. He's now included in the Canada team as a TRP where the club releases him. See it there? See it there? Same thing. I know other people in the world doing it, so it's not like it's impossible. I think he played both. Come on, you're right. Came on in midfield in the first one, and then the second one is when he get the red card, no? Yeah, I remember my dad said that Mason should just hold the gate after that game. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the second one. Jamaica wouldn't have a team if it was up to my dad, though. I don't think anybody is good. He don't think anybody good. Man, narrate no player. Hard grader, you know. Yeah, man, same figure whole gate. Charger. Yeah, Mace. Yeah, you convinced him now, though. Think he like what he saw in the Unity Cup and since, you know. So he never left the best first impression, though, Mace. Gotta be honest, mate. Yeah, so let me continue with the press conference.
The process has been very difficult all the way through for 18 months, and I presume even before that. So it's one of the things that we have to deal with, but that's the process. We have to deal with it.
Sounds like you're not very happy with the coach.
I'm not satisfied with anything. I think should always be sharper, and we should have this and we should have that. And maybe I asked for too much.
No, coach.
To make sure that we
ask for what you need, brother.
We possibly can. All the other nations are doing it. We see with Trinidad, we see with Curacao, they're doing it, and we have to do it in our way.
I want you to talk a little bit about Rico coach. I know he's had a couple of ACL tears in I think one in 2016 and one a couple years ago.
Yo, the man basically, let's say, Cephas are hurted, don't think the game enough. And him say Shamar too slow and lazy. I think those are the descriptors for Shamar. So, but as I said, BM, the man don't like no player. I'm looking at this squad. I'm trying to think of a player that my dad actually like. Brother, I mean, it's not that him dislike all of them, you know, but him have problems with almost every player in some aspect.
He's 28 years old now. How much do you expect him to add to this unit? And how important do you think he will be, especially with Amari Bell now out?
Rico is a very good player. He's a Premier League player. And he's had bad injuries, he's come back, he's fought back. Shows the mentality of the boy. And he plays like that, with that kind of mentality. Enthused, loves playing the game. And he's this season not played regularly, but had games. And his trainer has fit and looks very, very good. Looks very, very sharp. He played last week in the EFL Cup and played very well along with Ethan, who's had minutes as well. So I have no hesitation in bringing Rico in with it's the ideal age. He's recovering. He's got experience. He's a Premier League player. He can add to the squad.
And you're seeing coach that you feel he's ready to walk right into this setup.
Absolutely. Otherwise, I won't pick him.
Thanks, Ricardo. Javon.
So Ricardo Chambers just asked him straight up, you know, Rico Henry's 28 years of age, had 2 big knee injuries, one on each knee. You know, how much can he really bring to the team at this point? And some might hear that question and say, John O'Star, that question there, like, what you try to say, bro? Damaged goods or what you really I say? But look, the coach said, listen, the man is recovering or recovered fully. He's an EPL player. He's proven. He's professional. He's in his prime in terms of age. You know, they usually say 27, 28. I think that prime has dipped a little bit as far as football is concerned. Like it's a little younger now for me. But look, there's no way you could say Rico Henry is just washed up. I mean, he just has had bad luck the last couple of seasons with the injuries, and prior to that, he was a nailed-on starter for Brentford. So, yeah, I feel like Rico Henry definitely is going to add something to the team. I think just his energy levels alone and how what he brings and his style as a left back. I think one of the things that maybe hasn't made Bell and Lee resonate to the entire fan base is I think we like to see that bombing up and down that left side fullback. And I think Rico Henry is much more in that vein of players that maybe, you know, we kind of envision our left back playing like. So yeah, maybe maybe Rico Henry will endear himself to the fans a bit more than, let's say, Bell and Lee have. Even though I think Greg Lee ratings with the fan base has grown a lot from like the first time they would have seen him play. So yeah, I mean Rico just needs to come and stamp his class and hopefully he gets a chance. Hopefully everything work out with the paperwork. And at the very least, we get to see him in one game, you know. The travesty would be if he goes this entire window and for whatever reason him can't play. Look, I don't think that would be the case. Like I said, I think it's 50-50 right now if he's available in Trinidad or not. Jamaica doesn't have one player who can classify as world class, not one. That is true. I understand Mr. Hall high standards, but he has to be realistic at the same time. Yeah, I think he's telling our fans to be realistic too, though, because I think we kind of speak if our team is this great team, and I think we have a lot of things to fix and work on, and we just need to be more humble as a fan base. Like we don't have some of the things we think we have. We don't have. That's just the truth. Jamaica doesn't have one player we can classify. Yeah, not one. That's true. Request quality. Yep. Tycoon up full enough. Big up yourself. Good win today. We just going to score a bag of goal to win the game then, but that's the Barca way, you know, and the Hansi Flick. They both represented England at the youth level, so FIFA must approve the switch. Yep. He playing in the best league in the world. He can handle Caribbean teams. The players we have available are mediocre, average players. That's just the reality, says BM. Some of them are average players. That is true. Back in the day, my dad hated every player who played for Siba United. My house was crazy. I supported Seba. My brother supported Wadada. My dad supported Violet. Jano. Every day I war in this up. And the three, ja. That was a silly question, says Guru. Yeah, I think it was a slight dig. I was basically saying, like, yo, she says a damaged goods baller, yeah, get to wash up and over the hill. And I mean, he never used those words. He said it politically correctly, but it had some undertones in there of some slight digs, If he does have to play, would love to see a combination of him and Gray on the left side. Or if he does get to play. Yeah, him and Damari would have looked decent over that side. I know Pika is very challenging. I don't like how Barcelona giving up so much goals. Yeah. Them defense optional, brother. Don't be surprised if Coach McCarron puts Rico Henry at left back and Greg at left midfield. Hey, I wouldn't put it past him,
We spoke on
Unseen?
not don't want to really bring in new players at this time. A lot of people were saying we can win. And we have a striker, Tremendous. He's doing well in Israel for Maccabi NFL. Scoring goals and doing some good stuff at his club. What is the process you're looking at right now? You bring players like that where you take up shape, take up for in your club coalition.
I think knowing players and working with players, I think is always an advantage. If I go through the four strikers, Shamar is the best in the Caribbean, and I think Shamar became top.
People, is Shamar Nicholson the best striker in the Caribbean? Conrad, I don't know if Conrad trolling or just being honest with him answer, but him say, yep. People, there's 75 of you here, honestly. Corey said best in the world. My God. God said probably Garcia. No, seriously. Somebody answer me seriously. Is Boza really the best in the Caribbean as a striker? We attack Mons, you attack from Mount Pleasant Campbell attack. So why would I play this so? Canada Campbell attack. Which Campbell attack? Princeton said no. Strange because I don't see where a switch was requested for the player. Only team in this group was players waiting and a switch is clear, so with 5. Yeah, that site I've never seen a Jamaica player on it. If you're talking about the same site, I think about Jay-Z. Correct, I did with laugh. Yes, to his coaches who want to give him confidence. Okay, fair enough. Oh, Tyrese Campbell played left back today? Really? Interesting. Garcia, for me, he's talking based on his goal scoring record. Yeah, probably. I have to change up a little with that highline going forward. It gets me 3 trophies last season, but I think, yeah, teams catching up Tycoon. Them I realize say the third man runner kill them. Because no matter how high you bring your line, as a matter of fact, the higher you bring your line, the worse. Because the third man runner running from deep, he'll never be offside. You just play it over the top and make the man run from 30 yards before your back line, then can't turn around and run as fast as that man running full speed. It's impossible. Piro is better than Bowser. Yeah, the Haitian striker is very good striker. Yes, that's true. Garcia is a shout, but their number first 2 years in Russia is comparable. And if you ask Trini fans, they don't get anything from him. But I wouldn't say Garcia is better than him because to me, Garcia is better as like a wide forward, you know, or even a winger. But I would say Pero and Nazan from Haiti, both of them better strikers to me. But you know, it's debatable. I mean, Shamar has played in France, he's played in Belgium, now playing in Liga MX. Well, used to play in Liga MX a lot, but not playing as much now. He not Greenwood. True, Pika can be a headache. Yeah, he must mean Tyrese. Yeah, he said Tyrese Campbell. That's amazing though. I didn't know he had played anywhere but forward or wing for them. So I'm actually gonna find that game and watch it. Yeah, I went with both of them as well. Both the Haitian strikers. Bought Boza for 8 million and sold him to Tuana for 1.5. Spartak then bought Levi for 18 to replace Boza. Let that sink in. I'm not gonna see them numbers there. Best in what Caribbean? No, hell no. Site accurate, so I wonder what they lie. Yeah, that is true. That is true. If the site accurate. The third man runner, man, killing that high line. Even Nazan is better than Boza. Yeah, I would say both of them. McLaren is a smart coach. I hope that other Jamaica coaches are learning from him. What he said about Nicholson is understandable in professional coaching circles. Jamaican player need a lot of motivation. So Guru is saying it doesn't matter how truthful the statement is. Let's try to more think about the reason why the statement is being made. Okay. He going to play. Remember, it was reported Greenwood switched. Then was that when that wasn't true? Market is different these days. You have to pay a man a lot to go to Russia now. Yo, Rob had an answer for your statement. Eagle Republic. The man was ready. Man said there's a premium on Russian players going because they don't want to go to a war-torn place. Boza scored against all the top teams in CONCACAF. That is true. Caribbean born, it is debatable in terms of numbers. Jason, actions speak louder than words. They're not serious about qualifying for no World Cup. Yeah, but all right, Markland, to be honest, at one point I thought they didn't want to qualify and stuff, but I don't even think it's that. I think they just think that they can qualify the way they do it. I don't know what evidence they would have to show that, but I don't even think they think what they're doing is wrong. That's the thing. I think they don't think what they're doing is wrong. I think they believe that this is the way that they can do it. So that's why they do it this way. I don't know what's worse. Which would be worse? Doing something a way that looks at face value to be wrong, but the people them doing it think is nothing wrong with it, or would it be worse if them know say it wrong and them just do it anyway? Cause me that think the way that them doing it now, which is what I think it really is, I think they actually believe that the way them try to do things is the perfect way, because them always say things like Jamaica different, and even Guru in this last statement, Jamaican player need a lot of motivation. Like any other player no need motivation. Why would a Jamaican player need any more motivation than any other player? Every player need motivation, brother. That's not a Jamaican only thing. But we tend to do that a lot when we analyze football. We say, no, because in Jamaica, we have to make sense of things we do and say we do it because of Jamaica. It's like a crutch that we use, because Jamaica this happened, or because Jamaica this, we have to do it this way. But sometimes you just try to figure out the best way, and don't worry about that is Jamaica you're doing it. Just try to do it the best way. But again, I think sometimes what the best way is the debate, right? So they might think that the way they do things is the best way, you know. Honestly, they might think that, and based on some of the people that I think are like sent into these spaces to kind of monitor what's going on and whatever, and what they utter in the chats, I think that they honestly believe that what they're doing is the right way. Bosa is the one man that gets no love. No, 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 no. It's not just what, not just him, Rob. Remember, nobody likes Warner Brown either, and he scored goals for Jamaica. So it's Bosa and Warner Brown. Don't leave Warner Brown out of it. If you're talking about form for country, then yes, Bosa is the best SBM. So BM agree with the statement. So football guru never go as far to agree, but him say understand why the coach has said. But this is the first man I think actually I say yes. Wait, Rob Smith did probably say yes to. Did Rob Smith answer the question? I think Rob Smith just start cuss and say we don't like goal scorers. I don't think he ever answered the question. But I want to tell life on Rob Smith. Yeah, but I don't think Rob answered the question. Is Boza the best in the Caribbean? 7%, 70% of the 26 on the bench. No, 70% of the 26 playing on the bench. Amazing. Any striker playing for Jamaica for 7 years should score on every top CONCACAF team at least once. Yeah, longevity. Yeah, that's true. Respect to Gooner and all in the chat. One Umbrella Sports and Entertainment Jamaica. Big up yourself. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not sure how Mr. Advisor allowed Coach McLaren to submit a squad with 9 attackers and 5 midfielders. Yeah, because I think he was on a program and he mentioned that the Gold Cups was a disaster and he was light in certain area and the balance was off. And I thought the advisor was coming in to prevent those things, but the balance looked very similar to the Gold Cup one. It's the same squad. Curacao call up our new players added. Kevin Scott, they added one player, a striker. And if you notice, the strikers they had been using didn't really have much game time. Well, I shouldn't say the strikers. One of them, Locadia, who is a veteran, been around the team for a while now. I think he was in the team that played us in the Gold Cup and everything. He is who played against us. Well, did he start that game against us? Yeah, he's who played against us in that game. Let me see. Yeah, he's who played against us in that game. Against Curacao. And also we had to face, because we didn't have to play against Castaner, who is the player that's in the Indonesia Super League now. Obviously developed in the Netherlands, but has started his world traveling at this point as a club player, and he's now in Indonesia. And I'm trying to figure out why he didn't play against us in that game. I don't know if he was coming off an injury or what. But yeah, we locked up with him not being in there. Maybe he was suspended from yellow cards because he got a yellow card. Yeah, so he got a yellow card in the first round in June when they played Haiti. And then he got another yellow card against Bermuda in their 3-2 win. And that's why we didn't have to face him in the first leg that we played them. But Castaner is a problem, big beast of a striker. But yeah, they only brought in one player, Jardine Paulina, I think his name is, plays in the Eredivisie. So yeah, he's the only recruit that came in. Young player, not the Eredivisie, I'm sorry. He plays in the He actually plays in the Regional Liga West, which is one of the smaller tiers in Germany. He plays for the Borussia Dortmund 2 under 23 team. So yeah, he plays it straight in Germany. Young player, he's a striker, he's 5'10". And yeah, he's the only addition to the Curacao mix that I saw. Jamaicans need love, especially for foreigners, and a coach to like them to give their best. All right, Guru. Currently, based on stats in World Cup qualifiers, it's Nazan, Nicholson, Castanier. Yeah, if goals, yeah, if the goals is the number one criteria, yes, which should be number one. Those Haitian boys score a lot of goals. That's true. It appears that Tai Chung is back to fitness. I saw his name. Yes. So he would, I guess, that you would call it an addition, even though he's been there before. He wasn't in the squad last window. So yeah, Tai Chung was listed as back. I did say that Garcia is a good shout. Yeah, you did say that. You did say that. My problem with this squad is there's no attackers in it. Huh? Is that a serious? You're not serious. Most midfielders didn't want right. Okay, no attackers in it, meaning attacking midfielders. Okay. We don't score many goals versus those top teams, though. That is true. I guess Trevante Stewart has to get transferred to the EPL before he can get a national call up. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I think because Boza, this whole best in the Caribbean scores against the Caribbean thing is like the calling card for Boza for this window. So the fact that Boza was going to get picked regardless, I think Burrell scoring a whole bunch of goals right before the window came, all right, that really killed Javante Stewart, I think. It's kind of surprising that both Warner Brown and Kadamarchi make it. Um, I would have thought maybe one or the other, because I just had a feeling that Boza was going to get picked. I know Burrell has been the one that hasn't gotten game time when all of them are here of late, but his recent goal scoring I knew wasn't going to go unnoticed by the coach. So yeah, I just think Burrell scoring really hurt Travante, because I think if Travante was going to get in, it would have been Burrell that was the casualty. I just had that feeling, just based on the coach never picking the man when he has them all together. He don't put Burrell on the field. So, if I had to guess if someone was going to drop out for a new striker, Burrell would have been my guess. If I'm basing my thought process on what I've seen the coach do, who I've seen him use and play, unless he agrees with it, question mark, exactly. The only player that might be better than Boza is Perot from Haiti. However, Perot isn't very prolific at his club, but lethal for Haiti. So, then no Boza that. And I wouldn't even say him lethal for Jamaica. He's good. Jamaica need attacking midfielders. Marvin, we're not even going to use the midfield, won't touch the football when we have it. They'll touch it when them tackle a man, when them intercept a pass. Rarely will the midfield touch the ball, brother. Straight to the forward line. Boom. Well, the best thing about our players, we do not have to worry about them getting injured in games. They can only get injured in practice. Oh boy. All respect must be given to Boza. He did great against Canada, that is true. But I believe him not playing much for his club this window meant Trevante deserved the call up. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I would not worry about Trinidad and Curacao. They should be worried about us. Jamaica has some big name players: Nicholson, Gray, Pinnock, Lowe, Latti, etc. Yeah, if we were playing a game of EAFC 26, then Football Guru, this comment would have make way more sense. But football no play, so brother. Names on a sheet of paper don't mean anything. Dick Advocat even told you this. The man say, yo, individually, yeah, Jamaica better than us. But as a team, they're not better than us. When you look at the team function and what they do together, him say, I don't believe they're better than us when you factor in the team. So we can get these individuals who are big game players and big name players to play as a team, then yeah, we'll definitely be in a very good position to qualify. Coach really confused. Last window he was looking for a number 9 since Antonio, so he found a number 9. Now who is that? Number 9, Bosa, Burrell, or Warner. In a time like this, is a time when Omari shout would be good. He would need us now as well. We need creativity, and he can be a better 10 than Gray. I wouldn't be mad if they had called him. Yeah, Joseph Brown. I don't think that Omari want forward back at this place here again, brother. Man, try a thing, it never work out, him never like what they are going, and he move on. Yeah, he move on. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they tried to call him either, but I think that call would have been unanswered. Just being honest. Bailey Calamarchi will be riding the bench. Warner Brown is Coach McLaren's adopted son. They used Bermuda to boost Bowser last window. The coaching staff, if they use Cranky's metric, would call Trevante over every other forward. He has the best numbers. Yeah, numbers wise, when you go down into the strength of league metrics, does Cranky look at that? I don't know. 9 goals in the Israeli league, is that equivalent to 5 goals in the Prem or in the Champ? Or do you not look at that and you just look at the raw numbers regardless of the league? Because Warner Brown scored 21 in the JPL, so I don't know. So it just depends on how you're contextualizing all the numbers, But if Cranky was just using overall goals so far this season, then yeah, Trevante would be at the top of the bunch, top of the heap. How in the world Lati gets called up to the squad but can't get a game for his club? I don't know. Amari can stay, fam. We don't want to see him back in our jersey ever again. I think you mean Omari, but yeah, the point taken. It isn't name on the paper. I know them. I have seen them against Canada, Honduras away, and then fight the USA to the brink. The core is still there. They can draw on it. I'm not worried. Okay, I see what you mean. So you're saying, like, you really literally, you weren't saying big name at all. You're just saying big game players in the sense that you have seen those particular names turn up on days when, the chips down or we need a result or something. Okay, fair.
In the last game, especially at home, against Bermuda, he was the leader, he was the front man, he was the hustler, he was there, he was fighting for the ball, he was fighting for everything. And Shamar, we've had ups and downs with, in form, out of form, but he's come at the right time. And the last game, so he's so important to us. The amount of goals that he scores against Caribbean teams, which is the reason why we brought him back into the fold. So it's a no-brainer. As a talisman up front, you need that number 9, and he is it. We brought in other players when we struggled. First of all, we brought in Warner Brown in the St. Vincent games. We introduced him in the second game. He got the first goal, great goal. Got such an important goal against the BVI for us to win. He brings energy, attitude, exactly what we wanted. We wanted strikers who could run behind and cause defenders problems, run in the channels, and also score goals. And Warner Brown, he scored goals. His goals have points against Guatemala. He scores 2. So he scored goals. And then in the summer, we didn't have Warner Brown, we didn't have Shamar, and we introduced Roman Burren. And Roman scored his first game in the Unity Cup. And for the championship, he's got a good move to QPR, big club. And I think in the last 5 games, he scored 4 goals. So he's a striker in form. And you got to pick a striker in form. As one of my staff said, when they're hot, get away. And he's hot at the moment. And we brought in Calamarchi when we didn't have Roman, when we didn't have Shamar, and we didn't have Warner. Calamarchi came in and he scored. He did great against Bermuda, scored against Trinidad. And if you notice all them strikers, one thing they've got, attitude. They work. They've got speed. And they can score. And that's so important in the process. And the other thing that they've got, the age of them. I think we're under 23. So, we're introducing not just we've got the experienced players, but also we've been introducing young players into the fray. We introduced Whisper at the last camp. We've been wanting to do that for a long time, so it's great to see him. So the blend of experience and youth, I think we've got really, really well. And the number 9s at the moment, although there are other players, we're going in with what we know and proven.
Of course, next question.
So they're going with what they know and proven. So there you have it, people. Like I said, he mentioned Bowser first. He then mentioned Warner Brown. Whether this was done intentionally, I'm not sure. Then he mentioned Burrell, how his form has been mad recently. And then he mentioned Bailey Cadamartry. Now, in that first window that we played, is McLaren telling the truth there? Did we not have any of those other people? Because he said he brought Bailey in when we didn't have Shamar, we didn't have Warner, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. But that's not true. When we went to Bermuda, I remember when Cadamartry came off, Shamar came on and he scored. So what is he saying? Bailey Cadamartry came in when you had these guys before. Warner Brown was also selected in that first squad. So I don't know what this man talking about when him say these guys, some of these guys were brought in when they didn't have the other people. Now, Roman Burrell, that is true. When he came in, I don't remember any of those players being around. Boza wasn't around. We were told he had to get his fitness right in Mexico. I think Warner Brown got injured before that Unity Cup, so he couldn't be there. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that answer there, but all I can tell you is the coach said, listen, him go with the tried and trusted that him know how to work with, him know what him going to get from them. And Borrell was also informed, like how Trevante is, but the difference with Borrell is this current coach worked with Borrell before. And it's clear that in that role, with the players that he had at his disposal, he was going to give some credence and some, he was going to let a part of his decision be framed by if he had worked with the player before. So Borrell, Cadamartry, Brown, Nicholson had that leg up and Trevante Stewart. So, Trevante, it looks like to get into the team where you're gone 9 in 12 or something like that. Yeah, you need to get in the next 12, you need to get like 24 more. And then you should be good then, I think. Big up Drew Ross. Yeah, man, respect. Thanks for tuning in, my brother. You don't know the thing go. When you see Bailey and Casey wanting to be at the stadium when they are injured and won't play, you can tell that it's very important to the player and they will give their all. Start planning celebrations. All right, Guru. Are you just listen, believe, no man, over and over and over again for the last year. The coach said you got to pick striker in form, but still didn't call up. Yeah, he made sure to add at the end. He went with the ones that are proven to him in the setup. So yeah, you could have depend farm till forever and at the best farm ever. But you never work with McLaren and this regime yet, so no, we can't pick you. Bless up, Jagans. Hope you're good, my brother. Respect as usual for tuning in and respect for the membership as well. The truth is, Advocate is a much better coach than McLaren. Yeah, I think that is that's the great equalizer. With these big game players that him speak of, this coach is a big game coach. Why does McLaren not talk about tactical decisions and better decision making? No, energy, run, energy, run, energy. That's why it's kind of strange that Russell got back in the team because he don't fit into the energy, run thing. So I don't know how him drop in the thing. It don't go with the rest of the players that I see him picking. The coach is a politician. You really think Brown can play against his team and play good? He's not at that level. McLaren is getting outcoached constantly, period, in this World Cup qualifier third round. So Dwight with some serious words for the coach. Like I keep on telling the fantasy league players that coaches will trust those who has been with him. No Gooner. Cat was on the field. We were playing against a France, Brazil, and Spanish hybrid. Then we saw Boza and Bermuda took the field. Boza scored from a blowout corner, you know, my youth. You're going like Boza do nothing to score that goal. We win a corner and the man running at the near post and the ball, Ronaldo. Ronaldo Webster him for tank. Because Ronaldo Webster put up on a plate for him. You're very brave to try and keep up with a man who shows signs of dementia. No, me not keep up with him, you know. I listen to him I say. And yeah, me I try. Cause me not believe say the man not no sense. Me not believe that. So me I try read between, you know, me I try, maybe all right, maybe me mad still. Maybe me mad. Maybe me or brave. Brave, you say, maybe me brave. McLaren I deal with vibes and energy, not recent form and tactical matchups. Vibes and energy. He can lucky at one time and play good, but everyone knows him by now. No, but I'm saying that's not gonna take, brother. Good question, Jamrock. I don't know. Like rough on Treasure Beach and Moby United. And yeah, any club them side there is not many in the league right now, but they would be at a severe disadvantage. The coach's statements really goes to show that he really does have a proper system, be it tactical, etc. Yeah, it's kind of like a let's just try a thing type of thing, you know. I remember Cadamartri missed multiple chances in the first game, and people were praising him. Jamaicans, I tell you, yeah. Basically, you know, I was saying, look, I love the fact that so many chances were there for the striker, but I also said the man should have scored at least 2 goals. You know, so I gave him credit for the things that I liked, and I discredited him for missing. I remember before the Trinidad game, I said, listen, Bailey, see if you know a good feel, you score in this game against Trinidad, because if this window done, you not score, regardless if we beat Trinidad or not. People just gonna say, yo, him going good, you know, him have potential, him run the lines good, him strong, him can hold up the ball, but him never score. So me just did glad him get a goal in the second game, because knowing our coach and our people, them, we just would have been okay if he never came back. I didn't score in the first game or the second game, you know. But you're right, people were being overly can say no, overly defensive about the missed chances by him. Like nobody can talk about the fact that him actually missed the chance them. That is true, BM. Me did say that I go on to. Signs of dementia. You like that one there, Dwight? Russell, a goal scorer, really, he a forward in a midfield position. Yeah, I mean, the way he plays, he really wants to be a forward. That is true. Bless up, Dan Samago. Coach should have fired from Gold Cup, says Uptown 1G. Yeah, I remember a lot of people were saying that. I was one of the ones saying, boy, I wouldn't do it, because I wouldn't want to have to get another coach in now to learn how JFF do them thing and learn everything again and have to depend on Meran Garden for the first 3 window. And no, just leave the man in dead. Like, just try make it work with that man. Yeah. But hey, hindsight is 2020. If we don't reach the World Cup, Uptown 1G will forward and say, I told you guys to fire the damn man. So let's see. The coach contradicted himself, but I don't dwell on it. Yeah, he could have brought in Travante. If he brought the new guy at this stage, I would bet on Travante over anybody who never played in January. I would bet on Travante over anybody who have never played in Jamaica. Okay. So like a Rico Henry being a new guy at this stage is kind of a huge gamble for you then, because I've never played in Jamaica before. Okay. The JPL teams are playing exhibition matches as permitted based on their respective situations. Yes, I heard about that, Dwight. I know that I heard that Harborview was playing Portmore today. Don't know how the game went, but I know that happened today. Fam, Damian Lowe is one of my favorites, but I am really scared of him right now. Reason being, Lowe is all heart. He plays with his heart for the national team. However, he's not match fit. Bad combo. Yeah, that sharpness a little bit off. That challenge that take away the ball and a little of the man foot. Now you miss the ball and you take away the whole of the man foot because the match fitness now up. So McLaren is an English version of Tapper because Tapper was a vibes coach. Maybe it looks so. Bless up Lamar. I'm not a fan of the coach and his technical ability to get this team function at a high level. He's just not there. We Jamaican are way too graceful pandos with our English accent. Yeah, I think we talk a good talk, but when we get in the room and we did asking the questions, I don't think we really, we kind of we show some reverence. Jason, we both know why Cads was praised after missing multiple opportunities. I don't need to spell it out. Imagine what the reaction would have been if it was Boza or Warner Brown. Yeah, but BM, it depends who you're listening to. So there's a faction of people that would have burned him quickly for missing because of where him born. And there's a faction of them that would disregard the misses and just tell you that he was great running the channels and you have to be in the positions to score the goals. So BM, it just depends on whose volume you want to turn up because there's both sides. On both sides of that spectrum of fans, you'll hear the noise, whether it's praise or negative. So BM, you have the power to turn up or turn down the volume on whichever side you hear talking. But it exists everywhere. Both sides. I don't think Mana plays much in this, or Nana plays much in this window. Yeah, I also think he's more there because of just he's in the camp. He's a leader in the camp. But I think you're right. I think he doesn't play much either, to be honest. Trinidad is in camp already, so should we be worried? Look, I think Trinidad had to be in camp a little earlier because the majority of their players are in the USL and MLS, and if their team that they play for didn't make the playoffs, their season ended about what, week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So Dwight York did the prudent thing, and let's get those guys together, camp them, get their fitness back to a level, and set up some practice matches so they can, at least simulate gameplay as much as possible. I don't think it's something that should make us worry. I just think, they had the ability to do so because more of their players play in the same league, and yeah, that's why they did what they did. And of course, they have some players that play in Trinidad, and also they have a few that play in the JPL, which, lucky for them right now, is not being played. So their players were able to be released as well, I would think. So yeah, Nana. Steve, he like a student and he was cheating off garden papers from I hope he is in better shape than he was when we played against Trinidad after training in Houston. Yeah. I don't where the shape coming from though, Guru, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Different schedule. Yeah, Dwight, but it was inevitable. I mean, those guys, when I saw a list of the players not currently playing or like that season have ended, and it's about 15 of their last squad. So, that's more than enough to camp. We're gonna miss his physical attributes versus Garcia though. Yeah, I think last window Mason wasn't playing much. I think he started to play a lot more in between this window and the last one. So for me, I would go back to Holgate starting for me, because I think him have that physicality, and I think it's a better pairing for me as far as I'm concerned. If it's a you know I don't love the Pinnock King because I think both of them kind of want to watch and wait when they defend. Neither one of them are really front foot defenders. And I kind of think in that balance of two centre backs, you want to have a mix there. One front foot, one that wants to read the game a bit more. I think both of those two are more of readers, and it can get you into trouble if somebody is able to breach that area between Hayden and those two players. The fact that neither one of them have a tendency to want to step and make that challenge can cause issues. Beer farm, bless, we're there, I don't know why Beer suicide here coach want to play with, Beer fire, no defense. I believe that the Trinidad team played a TNT FA 11. Yeah, I think they had like a 60-minute game simulation type of thing. Cards hit the post versus Bermuda, so I wasn't worried about him. Hitting the post is a few inches away from being clinical, LOL. Is the Margrave 100% healthy? Well, I can't say that definitively, but based on his recent run of games for Birmingham, I would think so. I would think so. If not 100, very close to it. I mean, most footballers would tell you, apart from like the first couple of weeks of preseason, maybe they're never 100% healthy throughout the course of a season. But in the context of your question, I would say he's definitely closer to 100 than, let's say, 50, in my estimation. My untrained eye,
With my position, Reggae, we're not sure if he will play the first game. Webster wasn't standby. He's playing very well in Portsmouth.
Not convinced.
Talk to me about that.
That would be nice.
If I could, in the JFF allowed me to, I'd bring 30 players in. Because you're absolutely right.
Hey, Dwight, you hear what the man say? If he could, he would bring 30 players in. But the JFF can't do it. And I remember you mentioning something like this, and I didn't respond, but I was thinking when I saw you post it about 33 or 35 players to come in, because you want to have, I think you were saying it on Cranky's show, as you want to have enough of a contingency in place for all the foolishness that happens over the windows, injuries, this, travel, passport, whatever. So you just want to have that, safety blanket to say, yes, we don't need to call people. We have ready-made standbys there. And I said at the time, I was thinking it, I didn't type it or tell you, but I was thinking it. I said, well, we might as well start a GoFundMe now for those extra 7, 8 players that you want to bring, because I guarantee you the JFF ain't paying for those players. And, he said he would have taken 30 if they could afford it, basically, without saying those words. That's what he said. If Demi gets hurt, who should replace him? Probably Tyrese Campbell. On that left side. But or Cephas, to be honest. Or Cephas. I just want something for, like, I just want a way to, like, press something, make Cephas get stunted, so him can know for cross. Because I just think if him have somebody I just tap him, I said no, he could be effective because he beats his player a lot. He gets by his player a lot. So once him get by the player, what happened next? That's the thing where you have to just hope and pray. Bobby Reed had a good game yesterday for Leicester, a goal in the midfield. Yeah, he scored a good goal too. People, I still have memories of Levi Garcia cutting Richard King out of his clothes. That was a chop. Boy, damn. Coach attack, people not listening. Yeah, man, that fly over enough man head. Yeah, I remember when you said it, Dwight, and I didn't type it at the time. I should have, but I was thinking, boy, it's a great idea, Dwight. But we might as well start the GoFundMe or just, chump up and buy the 7, 8 tickets, because they ain't buying those extra tickets. I can tell you that. Better glad him get the 26.
Oh, it's 5 or 6 names. I get killed for the 5 or 6 names that I've not included in the squad. all of a sudden people get disappointed because of that. You know, so I only have 23 players. I bring in 26. They've allowed me that because if we do get injuries, especially after this weekend, we don't have time to bring people over. So that's why we brought that squad. Webster really impressed with the camp before, and he's unlucky not to be there. Greg Lee and Amari Bell have always been first choice left backs. Amari drops out. We've always wanted to bring Rico in, who's got that experience, Premier League experience, and that's why I'm choosing. If I could bring the likes of Kyle Duncan in and Webster, and you know we brought in Reed the last time as well. If I could bring 30 players, I would bring 30 players because they're all of a quality to play for this team. But my choices are limited, and I go with what I know.
It's something like you said, your choices are limited. But when looking at the middle impact, there's no ultimate creative leader that you want to create something for us. Casey Thomas will be at least injured and some good game in the last few.
You know, say I hear a lot of people saying this, you know, we have no because of a difference, you know, and I want us to differentiate these things. I wouldn't call Bobby Reed an out and out creative player. But to say we don't have an out and out number 10, that comes more down to your philosophy on what a number 10 can be or what he should be. Because I think Unseen's question really and truly is saying, I don't see a number 10 in the mold of what I would have as a number 10 in the team. Because I disrespect Bobby Reed, that's all. Because Bobby Reed played in the championship for Leicester. Every time I see Bobby Reed play this season, the man play behind the striker, number 10. So I don't understand why isn't he considered a number 10? Or is it that because we've seen Bobby Reed play deeper in the midfield and we see how the coach use him, he's not seeing him that way? I don't know. But I feel like yes, Bobby Reed ain't a creative player, so to speak. He's more of a workman-like player. But he's an attacking midfielder by trade. That is his role that he plays at his club right now. So to say we don't have any is a bit disingenuous. No, I can agree that we don't have the creative type of number 10. But again, I don't think Jamaica is planning to play like that, where they're going to play to a creator in that midfield. So yeah, the squad pick based on how the man going to play. So you know, we have the wingers that can cause damage in 1v1s. If we can get the ball to them quickly before the defensive set, even better. Yeah, exactly, Eagle Republic. Like if you're a cam or a 10, you must be piling man and saladin man. You know, that is literally what I am convinced that is what a number 10 has to be to most Jamaican fans and analysts too and coaches too. Same thing on the said about Al Grimson on playing fantasy league. What McLaren does is done by most coaches. He isn't going to satisfy Jamaica million coaches. Yeah, look, people are always gonna be upset. People are always gonna be upset about squads, and that's why these convos will never die because everybody have a different way them think we can get there. Everybody have them different favorite. Everybody think this man is a baller and this man not good, and that's why these convos will always take place. You know, it will never die. Bobby has been playing the number 10 for Jamaica for a very long time. Casey came in and played it somewhat recently. Yeah. I thought they'd say Bobby was a forward. Well, I wouldn't say very long time. He did spend some time in the wide areas too, you know, and he has kind of fluctuated between both. But I would say predominantly of late, he hasn't really played wide anymore. Guru, please stop talking bullshit. I thought they say Bobby was a forward. It wouldn't surprise me, though he can play everywhere. Well, he did start out first as a forward, a striker. And then he played in a 2 system as a supporting striker. Sometimes he played solo as a number 9. Who played the number 10 for Canada? Why they have done so well? Huh? Who you asking that question to, me or the chat? Let me know. Reggae Boyz has midfielders and then we have wingers. We just have wingers. Defense to wingers to strikers. So yeah, unseen. You don't have your type of attacking midfielder, but we have some. R1.
I think one of the things that we did in the Unity Cup, and I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think we scored
So one day
goals in the Unity Cup. We were struggling, I agree. We talked about that against St. Vincent, and we improved in terms of our chances. In the summer, we improved in the Unity Cup. In Guatemala, we scored 3 goals at home. And we scored even in the Gold Cup. In the World Cup qualifiers so far, we've scored 10 goals. So, we have players who can create, and we've got players who can score. We need to keep that going. So, that's something we've always looked towards. And we've got players with speed, individual talent, and ability that can create things from nothing. So, we thought that will work in the next 2 games.
Is there anything on standby?
Yeah, there's a lot on standby, but at the present moment, as I said, I'd love to bring 13, but they will be on standby, and we have cross fingers today and tomorrow that every player comes through.
Thanks, Stefan.
So many years say the man name a standby list. Who can tell me the standby players? Because the man say he can't name them. But I heard people saying names the other day, and I'm thinking maybe I missed it when I skimmed through it the first time. But I never hear no standby player. Unless there's another audio that I never hear.
Coach, generally, when selecting his squad, how do you weigh
Listen.
against the performance of the national team? And are there specific data points that you generally like to make this selection? And which factor ultimately carries the most weight for you? And also, how that given this selection against the final round of five?
That's a good question, and you're right. We got many things. We've got on the eye and what we see for the club, what they produce for Jamaica. And I know plenty of players who, when I work with England, they take different performances for England than they did for their club. Sometimes different performances for their club than they did with England. And you have to weigh that up. That's called experience. And on the big stage, when you have to deliver, being able to deliver. So these players in the squad are proven that they've been playing for Jamaica for many years. Some of the experienced players, they've been playing well, and you trust them. And trust is massive and huge. And that's why I picked these 26 players, because I've worked with them before. I've seen them play for Jamaica, and I trust them. And sometimes I take the club form and I close my eyes. And sometimes I look at the club form and say, well, he's not playing, he's not getting minutes, so therefore he's not in momentum. So sometimes it's stats, sometimes it's the eye, and sometimes it's the gut. So they're the things that I pick a squad from. And again, that's what I've done. And hopefully it all comes together with 2 wins.
Also, coach, has that general way of selection different this time? It's the final round of five.
Yeah. Why change? Someone always said to me once, what have you been doing for the last 18 months? And the last 2 games, you want to change everything and introduce this and introduce that? It's not the time to do that. It's knowing what you do best, and it's doing it.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Marlon? Morning, coach.
Yeah, so look, that answer right there was a master class in, like, you can't pin me down on none of my selection them, because the man cover everything. The man said you have to weigh the club form versus how them play with Jamaica. You have to weigh them what they're doing at the club now. So club form versus Jamaica form, and Is it just that they just don't play well? They always do the job for Jamaica regardless of how they're playing for club. Does their performance with Jamaica coincide with when they're doing well for club? So they look at those things. And then he said, eye test and gut feeling. So, brother, if you look on the club farm, the Jamaica farm, eye test, gut feeling, that means basically once I tell you the player and I question you about that player, one of them three things that you mentioned is going to be the reason for selecting that player. So basically, I can't call him up and no player him call, because if I say, how you call this player, I'm not play for him club. Have you seen what he did for Jamaica? Did you see what he did for me in training last time he was here? And how he does with the group away from the field and this and that? So a man can bring up anything and justify him pick. So the man masterfully answer that and say, listen, you have to count, you have to factor in all those things. And he make sure to say, and it's experience, my experience over the years. Let me come to the conclusions I come to. So I know when it's more important to look at this over that, specific to that player versus this player. So the man basically said, brother, you can't talk to me. Me have experience, me know what me I do. And whether me I use club farm, Jamaica farm, or eye test, one of them things they get used for this player. So leave me alone. What I can say to the man, if the man touch every single parameter and say him use it differently for players depending on the situation of that particular player. So me can't call him up and nothing when him do. Him can justify it. Because all of them will have something you can argue. If it's Boza, the argument is him have the most goals ever for Jamaica in the team. Now, he might lead this qualifying campaign in a scoring. That's a Boza argument. Warner Brown won a 9 game alone, the man played for Jamaica, and 5 goal contribution in the 9 game. That's a theme argument. Burrell argument now. If a man now want Burrell in a team, they might say, boy, from Unity Cup, no, from Unity Cup, the man not score, you know. And I swear him to go score bare goal and and a man who want Burrell in the team will say, brother, have 4 goals in 5 games in the championship, him gone, you know. So in this little time frame, you know, between the last game and now, you know. So basically, everybody on the team have an out. Because you can just pick and choose which are the 3 criteria you want to use for that specific person. you can't put him in a corner about any of them, because the man have him just tell us, say, oh, for that player, I was using my eye test. For that player, I was drinking some rum. You know, he can just say anything. Why change is why I'm fully done and back at the class. Yeah, I guess this 18 months has just gone smoothly, you know. Jason, what do you think about the collection of the game for hurricane relief? How do we know it's going directly to the victims and not another eater food scheme? But BM, we don't know, you know. But one thing I always think about my philosophy is this, and maybe it burned me in the past. But you see, if you have a mentality where everything in the world corrupt and nothing no good in the world, you will never do nothing. You will just sit around and wait and say, boy, let me find out and make sure, say, no, I mean, look, when I said just dash for your money, but as I said, oh, like, all right, put it this way. I use this all the time. When you go to a restaurant to eat, you must have some level of trust that the people in preparing your food are not some batty, no, I won't use that, are not terrible people. And they are just cooking your food and preparing it like they would cook for them mother, them father, them whatever. Some people are deathly afraid of germs, and if them go shake your hand, them want to know say your hand clean. Sometimes I laugh when people stay so, you know, because I'm sure no say when them go to eat, them not go in the kitchen and go watch the man wash your utensil them and wash the chicken where I'm going to eat or whatever I'm going to cook. So at some point you have to let go and just trust, right? I not have to just trust them in a BM. I just say, like, is there ever really a way to fully know if what you give to us a cause going to the cause without you actually put the money in the people in hand and then turn that money into whatever they need? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't know. We don't know. We just have hopes that people have a heart and them not, use something this crazy, this catastrophic to get over on other people for, The high test vibes and energy. The dementia and rum is not a good combo. Man, draw for England as reference. Yeah, man say all my experience, I know that McLaren was a charlatan when I saw him still mentioning Unity mug. McLaren is playing with the Jamaican media. He's too clever for them. Yo, that video, well, that's the thing, Guru. It might be more clever or too clever for the Jamaican media, but me are not Jamaican media. Me are me. Yeah, man. Let them know if we smash it up, man. Should definitely be over the 100 long time. Let me see what I go on. Cause the reasoning nice, but soon I forgot my bed, 71 likes, people. Come on, man. You can do way better than that. Over 100 of you here right now. Come on, man. Get this video to 100 likes quick and fast. There are some nasty people, that is true. But brother, you can't think like that. You can't, every time I go to you, worry about that. Everything corrupt. Except for cats, him no fit no criteria. Where I say, when you look on the Jamaica goals, him not have it. I mean, 1 in 3 is that, that's it's about par for the course for most Jamaican strikers we play. Him don't have the goals at club level. Well, I did a show leading up to this window saying, boy, me have to stop worry about goals and assists and just worry about minutes, I'm just worried about people using the plight of our fellow Jamaicans for their own selfish purpose. Yeah, look, fair enough. I can't argue with that. I get that. People are unscrupulous, but simple. Donate goods, then volunteer to drive the supplies out west for the people. Yeah. If you really want to make sure it reach, then take it yourself. That's true. I can't physically do that right now, but if you're in Jamaica, you can. So, yeah. Let them know, Apache. A lot of people use corruption as an excuse. That is true. Brethren, even when you give to the Red Cross, only about 40 cents out of the dollar actually goes to disaster relief. Yeah. It's just bureaucracy and everything, So unless you can go to the source with the funds, it's very difficult for all of it to go to the people that need to go to. Honestly, I believe with Andre Blake's leadership, we'll get results needed. All right, Dwight. One glimmer of hope in all the comments tonight. Thank you, Dwight. Come there worry, I think Dwight give up, But Dwight drop a glimmer of hope in the chat now. I think Jamaicans are more trustworthy when it comes to that. Most foreign organizations donate a smaller percentage of what they collect. Okay. So football guru, big up the Jamaican people, man. I say, listen, when it comes to them thing, them actually gonna donate most of it. Simon Preston is the clever one, not the coach. The coach is well protected by Simon. Yo, Simon, I get some beating from where they are, Jeez. Volunteer on the ground yourself. Yeah, man. So do the action. Rob Smith says Simon is just doing his job, tycoon. The press officer not supposed to throw the coach under the bus or even put him in the danger site of the bus. So is Simon Preston doing his job? I think when you look at the press officer's job, yes, he's supposed to keep steer the information into certain directions and steer the coach away from any potential soundbite moments and all these things. So yeah, in that sense, Rob Smith have a point. He's supposed to be shielding, any kind of bad stuff from the coach and the staff itself that deal with the press. The gatekeeper usually get a beating. Simon is doing his job. So Guru and Rob Smith agree that Simon just doing his job. I'm fully confident in the players' ability to lead themselves. Okay, so you lose all faith in the coach, but you know that the players still have brains too. Okay. Simon Hate is Delulu to me. Simon been covering Reggae Boyz longer than most, if not all. Yeah, man, I'm picking up what you're putting down now, Dwight Spence. I'm overstanding. Oh, I thought it was Delulu. You were saying silly. All right, well, Delulu worked too. But people, we have run way past the 2, well, not way past, 20 minutes or so past the 2 hour mark. That is usually the running time we like to keep these to. Sometimes when the show them get too long, I know some people watch the shows in double speed on the second go around, which it doesn't matter to me how you watch it. Just please watch it and be sure if you weren't a part of the live chat discussion, which was very, very engaging tonight, and we greatly appreciate that. I've always said I'm not really one to have so many call-ins like a lot of the others in the space. Nothing against them. I enjoy the call-ins and the different perspectives. But honestly, my other perspectives will forward in the form of the chat, just because I just like to have my own thoughts and just give them to you unfiltered as much as I can, because I think sometimes my messaging can get lost when we take calls and things of that nature. So nothing against phone calls. There's time and place for that. I'm sure in the future we'll have shows with calls as well. But tonight in this reaction show, I really wanted to make sure I got through the press conference, talked about the players in the squad, give my initial thoughts on it. Of course, this is the place that you get a little bit more in-depth tactical insights. So definitely we're gonna bring back some parts of the window that we missed out just due to scheduling and timing. But tactical preview show definitely match day -1. So look out for that on Wednesday. Tomorrow, look out for another episode. Just focusing around the window. Definitely we'll touch on Jamaica some more. But tomorrow I want to put a little bit of light on our opponents. So we're gonna take a look at Trinidad and Curaçao's selected squads and just try to see if there's any changes, anything we need to look out for. So I'll be doing my research tomorrow again, just to shore up tie up some loose ends as far as those two teams are concerned. I already have been compiling notes and following some of the players, what they've been up to. So I have an idea going into the window what to expect from these teams. And I'd like to share some of my findings with you guys tomorrow or Tuesday, but definitely look for at least one more content around this window before the Wednesday match day -1 preview. And then of course on Thursday, definitely we'll be here live to bring you the watch along where you'll get the commentary analysis in real time. And I think that's probably Jason Gooner in his most animated form. So if you want to see me, lose my cool a bit, I've been known I've been known to be a pretty level-headed YouTube creator. But yeah, when we when we have the match day and the match is going, yeah, that's when you might see some Jason Gooner clippable moments there. It's hard to control the emotions in real time sometimes. So yeah, man, look forward to that with you guys. Like I said, another show just kind of focusing a bit more about CONCACAF as a whole. We're going to look at the groups themselves. I will predict the group winners and also the second place teams that I think will be getting to go to that intercontinental playoff. And also that show will have a focus on, not focus, but we're definitely going to touch on the Trinidad and the Curacao squads going into this final crucial window. All right, people. So yeah, man, thanks so much for tuning in, each and every one of you lot. I just want to say big up again to God for the super chat. We greatly appreciate that. Big up to all my subscribers, all my members that tuned in tonight. Anybody who became a member tonight, you are the real superstars. We definitely want to continue to grow this channel organically. If you notice, I don't know. I try not to. Well, I wouldn't say I try not to, but I don't really see a place for me in some of the other things that I see going on in the YouTube world. And that's fine. Maybe that's why some people that started around the time I started or even after me might have a bigger following and all these things. We don't really watch that. What I think is most important, and for me, is the substance and what I bring. So if it's 5 people here or 105 people here, hopefully the five, they will get the same type of content, the same type of quality as if it's 105. It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, I just want to make things that can live on. You can go back and watch this tomorrow, the next day, and hopefully you get something else from it. That is my goal, right? That is my goal. Did I ever answer this question? GFF, Leon Bailey, and Chris Brown stand by listening 100%. Yeah, so look, I never answered this, but I didn't want to answer it. And basically, I was waiting to hear if there was a list, which there wasn't. But I did hear him say Leon Bailey and Casey Palmer could potentially get there for the second game based on them kind of being pretty close to fully rehabilitated. But yeah, they're just on the standby list, to be honest. He has 26 players, only 23 can make the match day squad. So potentially he never even uses that standby list. So I wouldn't put too much stock into the standby list, to be honest, Eagle Republic. Now, as far as wasting changes and stuff, those standby list players wouldn't factor into that because you would have your match day squad and your bench would come from those players and they wouldn't be on the standby list. So I wouldn't put too much stock in which players are on that standby list, because even if you have a couple of players that it's really taking a bit of a risk to even include them in that list, I would say it would be more risky if they were in the proper 26-man squad. So that's what I would say to that Eagle Republic if you're still here. All right. No, Jaguars, I didn't, and I kind of, at the beginning of the show, I kind of explained that, boy, it does never work out for the EPL this week because Pop surprised the fam forwarding Friday. Of course, that's my preview show night. Well, me end up take out the family that night there. We go at dinner with Pops, wifey, kids, me, everything. Had a bit of fun at the table. Come back home. Could I do a show? Probably wouldn't have been the best quality because I wasn't really in a state to do any kind of show. So I just sent out the post on YouTube to the community saying, listen, family first. I couldn't do the show tonight. And I was trying to get the predictions through that medium, but not so many people see the community tab post. So people respond late. It was never work out for the EPL this week. So instead of doing a review show tonight, and to be totally honest, people, this is probably the least football I watched for a weekend in a long time, because so much was going on and it just I could not do the Jason Gooner analysis work that I would normally do just because too much was going on. So would I get a less than Jason Gooner level to me product, so I never bother bring it. Now I was much more versed this weekend on the Reggae Boyz stuff and the squad that was picked, and obviously I have that in my head already, the Reggae Boyz players and what they've been up to and who is who and what is what. So I could have easily done this content without, doing any extra research before doing the show. So that's why I didn't do the EPL show this week, Jaguars. I've set a standard for that content and I want to keep it there, So that's the only reason, Jaguars. But once the international window is over, we're back full steam again, week 12. Preview and review headed right your way and everybody else way. Do you think we qualify? Woo! Alex Reed, that is a tough one to answer right now. And I am going to do the politician thing. And I'm going to say, not even politician, I'm going to do the marketing answer. Alex Reed, you'll have to stay tuned for the rest of this week for me to let you know how I feel about that, if we'll qualify or not. I'm learning, Alex. I'm learning. You have to leave some cliffhanger there for the people. When is the match? Lamar Williams. It is Thursday, November the 13th in Trinidad, and then Tuesday, November the 18th in Kingston, Jamaica. That is it. Substance over hype. Every time, my brother. I bet Leon Bailey and Casey so they can be part of the celebrations after the Curacao game. Hey, I mean, look, if they want to have players on standby list for that reason for the second game, I see no issue with that. Leon Bailey and Casey Palmer are two players that have been with the team through a lot of this time. So, having all those people around, that's not a bad thing, I don't think. I think Gray will play the number 10. I actually think so too. Will be included so they can celebrate. Yeah, man, big up Dragons. We're back to regular programming soon. When is the first game? Thursday the 13th. This midfield will make it difficult to beat TNT. Yeah, I think we're going to bypass them most of the time, to be honest. Anyway, people, big up on yourselves, This time I mean it. It's been a wonderful show. Love bringing you the content tonight as usual. I don't know if you guys did the right thing and got me to the 100 likes. Let me see. We only got to 81 likes. So people, let's make a mad dash for the 100 likes. If you're watching this content after the fact, you can still thump up the like button then as well. But people, really and truly this time I'm gone. Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And until next time, people. Come on, Jamaica. Jamaica, please. I'm going to the World Cup. But I don't want to go just to go. I want to go to watch you play. So please, Jamaica, please get these results. We'll be back, people. Every day, I'm going to beg just like this at the end. Please, Jamaica, please. Please.